Rangers fans have been given real hope in recent weeks, but this latest update could completely change the narrative. Let's break this down. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Nacer Jiga's future is suddenly hanging in the balance, and just as talks of a permanent move begin to gather momentum, a major twist has emerged. The 23-year-old centre-back, who joined Rangers on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers last summer, has quietly become one of the most talked about players at Ibrox. Despite a difficult start under Russell Martin, Jiga has grown into a key figure, and his resurgence has been one of the standout positives in recent months. That turnaround has largely come under Danny Röhl, whose arrival sparked a noticeable improvement in both individual performances and defensive stability. Jiga has gone from inconsistent to dependable, and now Rangers fans are starting to ask the big question: should the club make his move permanent? Well, here's where things get interesting. Reports suggest Wolves are not ready to let him go just yet. In fact, the Premier League side are planning to bring Jiga back for pre-season this summer to properly assess him ahead of next campaign. With relegation looming, Wolves could be heading into a rebuild, and Jiga may yet have a role to play. Manager Rob Edwards is said to be keen to take a closer look, wanting to run the rule over the defender before any final decision is made. That immediately throws Rangers' hopes into doubt, because while Rangers are interested, the financial reality paints a very different picture. Wolves paid around £10 million to bring Jiga to Molineux just 18 months ago, and they're unlikely to accept a cut-price deal. For Rangers, even with chairman Andrew Kavanagh promising a £16 million summer investment, committing that kind of fee to a single player looks increasingly unlikely. So what does this mean? Right now, Rangers are in a difficult position. They've developed the player, improved him, and made him a key part of the squad, but they may not control his future. And unless something changes dramatically, this story is heading towards one outcome: Jiga returning to Wolves, with Rangers left searching for answers in defence once again. But in football, things can change fast. If Jiga continues his impressive form between now and the end of the season, the pressure will grow. Fans will demand action, the club may be forced to reconsider, and Wolves might yet be tempted into negotiations. For now though, one thing is clear: this transfer saga is far from over. In other news, there was a time earlier this season when Rangers supporters looked at Derek Cornelius as a dependable solution rather than a short-term fix. Arriving on a season-long loan from Marseille during the summer window, the Canadian international slotted into the side with relative ease, offering physicality, composure, and a level of consistency that was badly needed during a turbulent opening to the campaign. In those early months, Cornelius was not just involved, he was integral. Trusted to start regularly, he often completed the full 90 minutes, becoming a familiar presence in the heart of the defence. At a time when results were faltering and cohesion was lacking, his reliability provided a degree of stability that made what followed all the more disruptive. An untimely injury in November halted his momentum entirely. What initially appeared to be a temporary setback gradually evolved into a prolonged absence, and in football, timing is everything. By the time Cornelius returned to fitness, the landscape had shifted. Under the guidance of Danny Röhl, new defensive partnerships had begun to emerge, and the Canadian found himself no longer central to the manager's plans. According to reports from the Rangers Review, the club have now effectively ruled out any move to retain Cornelius beyond his current loan spell. Not only are they unwilling to pursue a permanent deal, but even the possibility of extending his stay on another temporary basis is not being explored. His lack of availability across the majority of the season has played a significant role in that decision, but it is not the only factor. Despite featuring for Canada during the most recent international break, there remains a feeling within the club hierarchy that Cornelius has not demonstrated enough to justify a longer-term commitment. The judgment appears to be based not just on his absence, but on how he compares to the options already at Ibrox. At present, Emmanuel Fernandez and Nasser Jiga have established themselves as the preferred pairing in central defense. Both have brought a blend of athleticism and tactical awareness that aligns with the role's evolving system. Meanwhile, John Suter remains a trusted and experienced figure within the squad, further limiting Cornelius's pathway back into contention. There is also the broader context to consider. Rangers are already planning ahead for a season in which they intend to mount a serious title challenge. That ambition demands not only quality in the starting 11, but genuine depth across every position. The margin for error at the top is minimal, and squads built on weak rotational options rarely sustain success over a full campaign. In that sense, recruitment becomes less about sentiment and more about progression. Even the situation surrounding Jiga, who, like Cornelius, is currently on loan, remains unresolved, with the club still assessing the feasibility of a permanent deal with Wolves. That uncertainty further highlights the importance of making the right calls in defence. For Roll, this is a defining period. By the time next season begins, he will have had ample opportunity to evaluate every member of his squad. If Rangers fall short of expectations, scrutiny will inevitably fall on his decisions, particularly in key areas such as recruitment and squad building. It is precisely why choices like this carry such weight. From that perspective, the stance on Cornelius becomes clearer. If the manager does not view him as an upgrade or even as genuine competition, then extending his stay serves little purpose. At 28, he is unlikely to be developed into something significantly different from what he already is, a capable but ultimately limited squad option. Rangers, by contrast, appear to be aiming higher. The intention is to bring in players who can not only start but elevate the overall level within the squad. Increased competition for places drives performance, sharpens standards, and ultimately creates the kind of environment required to win titles. For Cornelius, it seems his time in Glasgow will be remembered as a case of what might have been. A promising start derailed by injury and overtaken by circumstance has left him on the outside looking in. And for Rangers, the focus now shifts firmly toward building a defensive unit capable of delivering success when it matters most. Ultimately, this feels like a decision rooted in direction rather than disappointment. Rangers are not simply looking to maintain, they are looking to evolve, to raise their ceiling ahead of what promises to be a fiercely competitive title race. In that context, every squad place must serve a purpose, and every addition must push the team forward. For Danny Roll, clarity is key. He has assessed his options, identified his preferred defensive core, and is now shaping a squad that reflects his tactical vision and long-term ambitions. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.